Hey everybody, it's Christina of CraftyPaws. I wanted to share with you guys my last guest design team project for Mel's Craft Boutique. Mel, I had such a wonderful time being your guest designer. I loved your products and it was really wonderful to get to play with everything. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And if you guys are making a purchase at Mel's Craft Boutique, please consider using the code CraftyPaws10 for 10% off your entire purchase of $15 or more. And if you are in the US and your order is $40 or more, you also get free shipping with that coupon code. Let me share with you guys a little bit of what I used. This beautiful lace, which is about 3 inches wide and super, super delicate, is actually in a pale blue. I'm sure my camera is not doing justice to the color, but it is gorgeous and so delicate. I also used a little bit of this really sweet trim. It's a little lace scallop. Then I also used some of the background of this gorgeous black lace applique trim, but not the main portions, not the flowers. I actually used this kind of netting portion. And then the rest of the products I actually used completely up. So let me show you those on the projects themselves. And the projects that I use them on are 3 ATCs for Craftyirina's 2,000 subscriber celebration giveaway challenge. And she's asked folks to make ATCs using specific colors that she likes, some products like laces and pearls and bling. And she said she particularly likes Marie Antoinette. So I wanted to make sure that all of my ATCs kind of fell within those lines, within her guidelines. Lucky for me, I had received from Sherry Ramsey beautiful, appropriate pictures. If you guys don't know Sherry Ramsey, please go check her out. She is such a sweetheart. She's so, so sweet. Anyway, I got this image from Sherry and I just thought it was perfect for this challenge. I just trimmed around the edges, just making sure that I left just enough of the image to cover the base of the ATC. This ATC, and I think all of them actually, I used a heavyweight chipboard. And on this one, I wrapped with this base lace fabric that I had received from Melissa D. So thank you, Melissa. And I used this beautiful applique from Mel's Craft Boutique. It has beads embedded in it and sequins, so it's got its own sparkle even beyond the embroidery thread. It is so beautiful. Plus then I decided I was going to add these really sweet floral rings. They're little plastic rings and they're so sweet, they're so delicate, but I actually snapped them in half. There are 8 flowers to a ring, and I just used my scissors and cut them in half and then flipped them because I wanted it to lie flatter on the ATC. But I just think that they add such a nice pearlescence to the ATC and adds a little extra color, which I thought matched perfectly with this frame on this image. And I did, just for the edges, I added gold stickles, which is actually called champagne. And I really like the sparkle that adds, and it adds a really nice finishing edge. And this ATC I have titled Femme, which means woman in French. The next one, I started again with the base covered with that lace fabric from Melissa. Then I used this, which is so cool. It's a canvas, sticky back canvas, but I didn't use a sticky portion because you'll see I stitched on it. And I sprayed it first with my Recollections spray, and I wanted to coordinate with this beautiful image of this woman. And I wanted it to peek through this lace. And this is that pale blue lace that I'd shown you before. I did a little piece of it right here. And then this is a beautiful applique trim that has pearls embedded in it. And this is also from Mel Shop. And I positioned this scalloped portion with this little top piece here perfectly. So it kind of framed her. And I really wanted to make it look almost like an architectural piece, like arches within a palace or something like that. And I wanted it to have some stitching along it because I was thinking of that saying, a stitch in time, and remembering from high school history how during Marie Antoinette's time, everything was so gorgeous and fancy, and and tacular, really, you know, all laces and trims and, you know, I mean, look at that outfit, while the rest of the country was falling apart. So when I stitched this on, actually, I accidentally, but I really like how it came out because I think it represents the story better. It came out a little wonky, so you'll see that, you know, right, it's not straight, it's over a little bit. And I think that kind of represents that idea of the times kind of falling apart all around the palace and the royalty, but, you know, them kind of being oblivious to it and just going on, you know, as usual. I added this flower just because I thought this was a little empty over here. This is another flower from one of this flower sprays in Mel's shop. And then up here at the top, just to add a little bit more of a rustic feel to it, I added a little bit of this more rough, it's not burlap, it's kind of a cotton, but it has a beautiful script on it. And I added a top panel here just to contrast, you know, the outside, you know, common folk versus the lacy royalty. And I also put it on the back. By the way, I made all these little artist trading card labels, putting on all the information that that Irene had wanted. As you can see, I fussy cut out this beautiful image. The trickiest part was that really tiny, delicate fan there. But actually, I think that Sherry had treated all of these images because it felt very much like vellum, so it was actually easier to fussy cut out than one would expect. And this artist trading card I have titled "Hold On" or "A Stitch in Time." And I just, you know, glued on the front canvas panel that I had stitched on top of the chipboard panel that I had put lace all around. And, you know, I put all this lace all around it, but you barely see it. You only see it on the edges. But, you know, it's those little details that make artist trading cards artistic. The last card is this one. And this was a little darker. It's almost a little steampunky, and Irene had mentioned that she would be interested in seeing how somebody might incorporate, you know, her other guidelines with kind of a steampunk feel. And this one, I started off with this beautiful napkin that's in this kind of darker, moody blue. It has an Eiffel Tower back here, and it's got some script over here. It had a flower here, but I covered most of that up. Then I took gesso and made kind of a painterly feel because I wanted this to seem almost dreamlike. And then I took my distressed ink in antique linen and did all the edges because I didn't want it to be so stark white. I wanted it to be more of a cream color. And then I used this beautiful blingy piece. It had a more Art Deco feel because these 4 rows of pearls were down here, but I snipped that off and put that on the top and used it more of like a diamond shape. And I really like how that looked. And I wanted this kind of to represent the sparkle and the dazzle and the finery of that period. But I wanted this to be a little darker too and show the encroaching, you know, problems coming. And I did that with the background portions of this black applique lace. And I really like how that netting looks there. It looks almost like spider webs coming in, doesn't it? And then I used this gunmetal heart down here just because I wanted to anchor this corner as well. And this gunmetal heart I had gotten from Julie's shop, Craft Supplies for You. And this little lace trim here is also from Mel's shop. And I just wanted to add some softness to this side. And it's almost like she's reaching for, you know, the finery, the laciness, but the darkness is encroaching and she's doesn't realize it, but she's touching that with this hand over here. And then here I added just some gold dots to the lace scallop, again with that stickles, with the champagne stickles. And this ATC I have titled Life is But a Dream. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys get a chance to play along with Irene's challenge, and please go check out Mel's store. She has some amazing products, really beautiful and special. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.